Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. You know who this is, so we don't need any introductions. Today I'm joined by Harley from Ipswich. First off, I just want to sort these trainers out here before people start stealing them in this building. So let's just get this competition out. There's going to be 2 questions, the last 2 pair. Jobs are good and then, because like flies around, dog mess around here. Right. So, right. These are size 7 to 12, but none in an 8.5. All right. So, all right, aren't they? All right, for summer, aren't they? If you've got a nice bit of skirt that you can take out to a country pub. Bit of advice if you're married, though, make sure that they're not from the same village, because you'll get caught. Another pair here, size 7 to 12. These are available in blue and black. All right, not bad, are they? We've had some blue ones on here before, haven't we? Blue and black. You get what comes, though. Size 7 to 12. Right, the 2 questions are... The first question. Who was the first person to drop Tyson Fury in a professional bout? Who was the first person to drop Tyson in a professional bout? Second question. How many times has Carl Froch been on the floor or touched down in his career, professional, amateur, and in sparring? Answers to both questions on a postcard to porkycorner@mail.com. All right? Peace out, you skid marks. Right, go on then, Harley, how you doing? We'll just turn this off, because otherwise we'll be mithered. Right, go on. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. We're just gonna go balls deep straight away. Dylan White Povetkin, the fight last weekend. What were your thoughts on that, mate?
Well, let me just stop you there, young man. Balls deep is my saying, not yours. So let me just nip that in, bud. All right, that's the first thing. Let's go balls deep, boys and girls. Right, that's my saying. Sorry, go on, young man. Start again. I'm just having a crack with you.
Yeah. No, straight away, mate. What was your thoughts on the pay-per-view last weekend? Dylan White, 4th round knockout against Alexander Povetkin.
I gave it a 3 out of 10, and that were only costs of Cheeseman, Metcalf. I say, what could you give it? What? Wardley against a part-time school teacher who's 39-year-old, fat as a pig Michelin man. Campbell Hatton fighting a guy with 10 fights, 10 losses. Shocking. They dug that Baker up for Kumani, whatever he would call. I mean, I don't want to hear Adam Smith going on about the next tattoo he has is going to be a spider's web on his elbow. What's that got to do with the sport of boxing or the fight? And the other ones were Ricky Hatton. Not Ricky Hatton. Dylan White fought Povetkin, 42-year-old, dug up after COVID and 2 bad injuries in the last 8 months. They're talking about him like he's some roadman killer and that he were pound for pound and all that. What? And how much? What pay-per-view? 20 quid?
Yeah, 20 quid, yeah.
Load of baba, but nobody's going to say it, are they? Because they're all like that, too busy up the hula hoops. So, go on,
what do you see next then for Dillian White? Because he's mentioned Trevor Bryan. That'd be shocking, wouldn't it?
It'll be somebody who's an easy win for him. Dylan White don't want to be in any fights where it's a 50-50 or a 60-40 in his favour. He wants them 70-30 fights in his favour. And he's made a career out of it. He's had 6 pay-per-view. His next fight's a 7th pay-per-view. Not being in a European title fight yet. And when was the last time Dylan White fought for a meaningful belt? Vacant belt against Ian Lewinson. Fat as a pig Michelin man, 20-odd stone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I look at it.
Yeah, no, Dylan White. I don't think they mentioned Wilder, but I don't think that will ever happen, will it? He'd get absolutely destroyed by Deontay Wilder.
Wilder would light him up.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Do you think Eddie's hiding behind the pandemic with the poor pay-per-views?
Of course he is. Yeah, of course he is. Yeah, mate. They've got an excuse for everything. It's like everybody else in every walk of life. Look at me. I've just had a plane cancelled to Italia in May to get my teeth done. Oh, it's going to be June, July now. It just keeps going on and on. That's 2 lots. Bulgaria one, Turkey one. You can't go nowhere, can we? So everybody's going to hide behind it, aren't they? It's not dentist's fault or airports. It's the world as a whole, isn't it? But Joshua Fury were never going to happen without crowds because the accountants by name, accountants by nature. Fury wants it. I don't think Ern and Joshua do, but they're going to hide behind the pandemic. I've been telling people for months. Plus, there's that many stories going on around this, isn't there? Fury, Joshua, Fury, Wilder. There's the legal issue with Shelley Finkel, Al Heyman, and Aram and Fury, and all. It's a mess, isn't it? This is why boxing's like it is. This is why it's never going to be soccer, football, whatever you want to call it, NFL, basketball, baseball, cricket, rugby. It's never going to be as big as them sports because we've got the same old people with the same noses in the trough. That's what we've got. Speaking of noses in the trough, I've got a corker for later. We'll bring that out. We'll bring that out at end. So I'll bring that up at end. It just reminded me about something. But it is what it is. Go on. What else we want to talk about, Harley?
What about Adam Smith during the Campbell Hatton fight, the rimming he was doing? What were your thoughts on that?
Bean! Go to your local corner shop, Bean, and pay £2.95 for a small bottle of TCP. Swill your mouth out with it. That's before you clean your teeth. Oh.
Yeah. Do you think Eddie's long-term going to stay with Sky, or do you think he's going to DAZN? What were your thoughts on that?
Eddie Earn will go where the money is and what's best for him. Joshua's coming to end now, I think. I think you might see, he might have 3 years left. That's probably 6 fights. Sky will know this. They'll be looking at the situation and think, where's the next pay-per-view star coming through? They're trying to force Conor Benn on us and he's not ready. I don't know. I don't know where the next pay-per-view star is. Dylan White's not a pay-per-view star. I mean, it's painful to watch. I mean, somebody sent me something. I'm not even going to play it. Is it episode 14 on the Matchroom podcast? Dylan White's brother, Dean White, saying the guy asked him if he's his blood brother. He went, yeah, I'm his blood brother. We grew up together. No, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. But what happens when you tell a lie? You've got to tell another. Got to keep it going. But if you want to walk around saying you're somebody's brother, well, say it. Say it, but don't say it in my company. Or if you say it on a video I'm watching, I'll have to have an opinion on my video. I won't comment on that video. I don't comment on other people's videos if I can help it, but I also have my opinion on here. Dean White, whatever he's called, Dean Povetkin, Lamar Scott, Freddie Krueger. It could be anybody. Joe Starter Motor from Brixton, whatever he's called. Here, Joe, start the motor. Joe Starter Motor. Let me tell you this. No relation. Dean White, you're no relation to Dylan White. You're embarrassing yourself. Everybody in the sport of boxing is laughing their nuts off at you. Strutting about. Did you hear him on that podcast? Yeah, I were a wrestler. I were a kickboxer, cage fighter. I've done white collar. I were going to turn pro. What? Do me a favour. Turn it in. If you want to go on a comedy channel, come on in. We'll have crack. But you was not going to turn pro. Stop it. Stop. with the nonsense. You sound like Tyson Fury with all these fairy tales you're coming out with. Jesus. Fairy tale land, lot of them. Well, what next?
Too many hangers on in boxing at the moment, isn't there, Ross?
Too many centipedes, mate, crawling up the hula hoops.
Yeah, mate. Just go. And then we've got obviously the Frank Warren show. That was another disaster. What are your thoughts on all that, mate?
I feel for Bricktop at the moment because he's hanging on for dear life, isn't he, to be relevant in the sport of boxing. He's probably got a decent stable that's 2 years off doing something. So he's had to like kind of rush the bar and Anthony Yard, hasn't he? But maybe Daniel DeBar could be ruined now. Maybe not, though. Maybe not. He might be able to be saved. But Anthony Yard, I feel, has been exposed.
Yeah.
Where they go now, I don't know. He's lost Warrington, hasn't he, to Eddie Hearn, but that it could be all over for Warrington now if he don't win that next one. So I don't know, but I've heard that's going to be pay-per-view, Warrington Lara. I've heard if Conor Benn beats Vargas, they're going to beat the drum for Kell Brook, Amir Khan, one of them to fight him. But is that after Brook and Khan have fought? I don't know. I'm hearing whispers that they're trying to get that going again. Brook's gone back to Flex Wheeler. What's all that about? You've only got to go like that on Kell Brook's chin with your finger and his chin caves in. Maybe Amir Khan's chin might be a bit tougher, but I don't know. I mean, it's overcooked, isn't it, that now, by over 10 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think it's a shame. And I think all the people around themselves need to have a long, hard look at themselves. Kell's stepdad, Terry, Eddie Hearn, even Kell, even Dominic. They all thought they could keep going to the piggy bank and the well and taking money out of the fans. And eventually the fans voted with their feet. If you look at the response on social media, people are saying, we don't want to see Brook Khan. Nobody wants to see it now because they've abused the fans that much that why should they be able to just come back and take a pay-per-view fight like that? It's embarrassing. And I'm hearing the numbers for the Dylan White fight against Povetkin weren't very good. So maybe the fans are now saying, do you know what? We've had enough of Dylan White now. You know what I mean? Because he's just fighting bum a month, innit? They're old men that he's fighting and they're charging pay-per-view for it. And nobody at Sky is coming out and saying, you know what? We just might be taking piss out fans here. We might just be taking the mickey. I mean, Povetkin. How come Yui against Povetkin want pay-per-view?
No, yeah. With Dylan White, they're milking it now. It's just, they're not even tight. Like you say, pay-per-view used to be all about title fights and big fights like Carl Froch and Groves. It had to be real big fights to be pay-per-view. Now they're just rinsing it, I think, Russ. Yeah.
Froch Kessler.
Yeah, Froch Kessler, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, mate. The next fight, obviously, Willie Hutchinson. We've mentioned Dominic Ingle. Do you think he's overrated now as a trainer?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Why? Who is he to start playing God with people's weight? You can do 168. Every trainer thinks they can take the fighter down a weight, but then put a bit of weight on and keep that power in them. It's like trying to get a little victory. Everybody's looking for an edge. Willie Hutchinson's a big lad, all right?
Yep.
He's not a 168. He's a 175. If you're a 175, you fight at 175, don't you? It's like going to buy a car, isn't it? If you can afford a Mondeo, £1,000, you buy it. If you can't afford a 25 grand Ford Focus brand new, you don't buy it. Otherwise, you're going to be out your depth. You're not going to be able to make the payments. Willie Hutchinson couldn't make the payments at 168. He got lit up. Whoever gave him advice to go to 168, and I know it was Dominic because he's obsessed by boiling people down and being this nutrition expert. Well, didn't we hear all that with Kell Brook? We'll get him down to 147 after Golovkin. We know what we're doing. Well, they didn't know what they were doing, did they? Because he quit in Errol Spence's fight. They said they'd build him up to 160 to fight Golovkin because he's a super middle anyway. Well, that didn't work out, did it? Because Towel came in that one as well, didn't it? So, do they know what they're doing? No. What sort of trainer puts a 147 in with a 160, a killer, then brings him down to fight another killer at 147? These people don't know what they're doing. They're self-absorbent in themselves, thinking about their own personal gain. But nobody's going to tell him, are they, Dominic Ingle, walking around doing it like this? Let him come on my channel or bump into me in the street. Because when he sees me at shows, he looks away because I'll tell him what I think. If he has another 4th dope test fail on his watch from his gym, he wants his license taken off him. But I've heard he's honourable. So I think if he has a 4th dope test failure, he might hand his license in and jog on back to Sainsbury's, guarding jelly babies and sandwiches. Mr. Door Security Man.
Yeah, and obviously we've mentioned Brooke Khan. They're saying Old Trafford. No way that sells Old Trafford, does it, Russ?
Listen, mate. Couldn't sell my old garage, that, mate. Couldn't fill my old garage up at my old house. Could it, eh? Old Trafford, Brooke Khan. What planet are they on? Eh? What planet are they on? Who's that? Is that Eddie Hearn saying that?
That was Amir Khan said that, yeah.
Amir Khan? What? Ben Eubank only did 40,000 at Old Trafford. Rematch. Ben Eubank. Jesus. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, obviously on the BT card as well, you had John Fury on punditry. What were your thoughts on his punditry work?
Big John Fury, big fighting man. But don't fight. What do I think about? Actually, I think he comes across all right, John Fury, actually, as a pundit. He's a bit gruffy, a bit growly, a bit gravelly in his voice. But I think he comes across all right when he's not lifting his top up, showing his tits off. But I think he comes across all right, but he likes to make everything about him and his son, doesn't he? He's there to talk about his son because if his son weren't with Frank Warren, he wouldn't be on BT Sport, would he? He'd be down road, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think it's good to have somebody like John who wears his heart on his sleeve as a BT pundit. And long may it continue. He's very amusing. So I tune in for comedy element of it.
Yeah. No, like you say, it seems to be a lot of father-son things at the moment in boxing storylines, isn't it? It's not about the fighting, it seems to be about the storylines. What do you think about that, Russ?
Well, if you've got a famous dad and you want to be a boxer, it's a license to print money and make your dad relevant again. Yeah. That's the way it's going, isn't it? It's a circus.
Yeah, we're talking about circuses. You're seeing Oscar De La Hoya reportedly coming back. What's your thoughts on that?
I think he's a complete tosser. He needs to go into rehab. He needs locking in his bedroom for 3 weeks. Do a proper turkey. Do a proper hardcore cold turkey, and you know what life's all about then. And he might appreciate the 300 million he's got tucked away in bank then. No, but he's lost plot every time I see him. He's doing it all that. He's getting it the old Kalle Sauerland, isn't
he? Yeah. Yeah, and I know Tony Bellew, he's talking a lot. Do you think he'll ever come back, Tony Bellew?
Tony Bellew?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he'll come back for the right amount of money. Yeah, I think he will. If the money's there, he'll be back because he won't need to diet. He'll come back at heavyweight, just jump up floor after 3 rounds. They'll do an Eric Molina. That's what happens. They come out swingers and then get dropped and then they just bail out, don't they? Take the money.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on him doing an OnlyFans page?
Joke, isn't it? What? Thought he were going to disappear.
Disappearing man.
He needs to disappear like Povetkin does. Povetkin turned up and Eric Molina, they turned up and they took the money, didn't they? And that were it. And I don't want to see that. There was no effort put in by him. They just turned up, took a payday and went home. And that was that. And is that where boxing's heading now? We're digging 42-year-old men up who've had COVID. What is all that about? Right?
Yeah, and yeah. Poor Eric Molina on a co-main event for a pay-per-view fight. It's shocking, isn't it?
Eric Molina. What on it? What?
Yeah, and you mentioned Cheeseman Metcalf. That was a great fight, weren't it, Russ?
Saved Eddie's bacon, that, didn't it?
Yeah.
Saved Eddie's bacon, otherwise they'd have had complaints. They've had loads of complaints anyway. They're not going to tell you that, but that saved Eddie's cheese. Eddie's cheese, the cheese, big cheese.
Yeah, I like Cheeseman at the end saying, "You need to pay me more money, Eddie, in the next contract and stuff." I did enjoy him saying that. To be fair.
Well, Cheeseman needs to lay out at bookies, doesn't he? But yeah, I'd like to see Quasi against Metcalf again. I thought he fought well, Quaz. So good luck to him.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you with Cheeseman. He's 25 years old. He's been in a lot of wars, hasn't he, Russ?
Just about to say that, mate. Took words out of my mouth. 25-year-old. He looks like Quasimodo and he sounds like Riddick Bowe. So it's not looking too good for him, is it?
No, yeah, no. He needs to. He needs to. Doesn't want to have too many wars like that, really, does he? He's had a few already.
Another couple of years when he's been knocked about and that, and you'll see him on the Mick Hennessy show against Eggington in a rematch. That's what you'll see. Oh, remember these words. This is just how it goes. I mean, you know, I like to think that, you know, I've looked into my pokey crystal ball and I don't see a future with Ted Cheeseman and Eddie. I see down the line Ted Cheeseman being thrown under a bus and then ended up a gatekeeper and then him being no good to Eddie. A bit like with Dave Allen at the moment. Have you seen all that last night with Dave Allen blocking Dacres against Lovejoy fight?
God.
Apparently, Dave Allen's saying he's locked into a contract with Lovejoy, and that fight shouldn't be happening. Or so I don't know. But I thought Dave Allen said he'd retired. Yeah. So I don't know. But if he's going up against Eddie, it's not looking too good for Dave. But he's probably going to end up on Frank Warren's show now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah,
I mean, is Dave coming back or what? What is he doing? What is he doing? Is he coming back?
I saw him call out Nick Webb on social media the other day. He wants that rematch, doesn't he?
Listen, who wants to see that though? That he won it conclusively, didn't he? Icing him. So who wants to see that again? Hey,
no.
Who wants to see Nick Webb against Dave Allen? He's iced him once. Well, what storyline is Dave going to sell? Oh, I'm training now, because he's already come out and said, I'm retiring because I never really trained. So we've got a man here that says, I didn't train. So what he's done then is just insulted all fans. I didn't take it serious. I didn't train. Now he's coming back. Oh, I'm taking it serious. But we've heard all this every fight. Look, it's the boy who cried wolf, innit? And I think his 15 minutes is up now. And I think it's a shame. But I wish him luck in his management career with these fighters he's managing. But look how he's managed his own career. Jumping in with guys he knows he can't beat, or guys he knows he can definitely beat. Well, it's middle ground on that career. And who's advised him? It's a car crash, isn't it? How many belts has he won?
0, isn't it? He's not won a belt.
Not won a belt, but yet he's dictating terms on social media to boxing promoters. What's all that about? He retired in a blaze of glory. They give him all that PR. They had him down at Sky and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Filled him full of crap. Yeah, we're going to do this for you, going to do that for you. Done nothing for him. And now it looks like he's in wilderness, doesn't it? So what's the last thing you do when you're in wilderness? Got to make a comeback. What, after all that big retirement talk about your head and all that, and you were asleep against Usyk in sparring and snoring and all that crap and health and safety and all that, but now you want to just come back. What are we, if mugs or something? Are we mugs as boxing fans? Craziness. His career's been handled shockingly. If we'd have stayed with Dennis Hobson, it'd have been all right. Dennis would have guided him. He had 7 fights with Dennis and he left because he was undefeated because Dennis said, look, you're not training. You'll get hurt in ring. Well, he did get hurt in ring because his last fight was 27, wasn't he? Brains scrambled. This is what happens when you don't listen. But yet, the board, well, we'll give him a manager's license, let him manage people. Because we're the board and we're incompetent. Boxing board of uncontrol. Dave's a disaster waiting to happen as a boxer, but they're going to put him in charge of other boxers as a manager. Only in the sport of boxing.
No, I agree with you. Since he left Dennis, it just went downhill, didn't it, really, Dave Allen's career?
Well, yeah, because he could have done something with his life. He had talent, Dave, but You're just going to be one of them bitter boxers now. One of them boxers who end up right bitter and don't end up doing no. That's what'll happen now. They don't win a belt now, I don't think. Not win a belt. Too late. But it is what it is. But he will sign for Bricktop this year. Mark my words, he will be a Frank Warren fighter this year because they're itching to get him on board, Frank and Andy Ayling. So watch this space.
Yeah, they'd probably feed him to like Gorman, David Adelaide, all those sort of names, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Well, gatekeeper him for them, let him knock him about. You get some more miles on clock and get a bit of more limelight. And because it's the limelight that he wants. He don't want to be a boxer, he just wants to be loved. And we can all understand that, but life don't work like that. But don't abuse boxing fans, or I will be knocking on your door or turning my camera on, because I don't like to see it. I'm fucking fed up at Dave Allen's show now. He's retiring, he's coming back. And well, what's all this about? How long is it since he's had a fight? He's not had a fight in 15 months, has he? No, then he's not had one. What was that? Dorian Darch. And that were all shrouded in mystery, wasn't it? Before then, he lost every round against David Price. What was that? A year before or something? 8 months before? What's all that about? Hey, how much more can we take? Now he's coming back. Coming back to do what? What is he coming back to do? To do what?
Nothing. He's going to get hurt.
To pick up some free money. Oh, I'm coming back. To pick up free money. Because I'm Dave Allen, I'm popular on social media. I want some money. That's all it is. I want to buy another house. I want money. I'm coming back. And what? We just got to put up with that. Somebody who don't want to train. No, I'm sorry, Dave. Give your head a shake, mate. Stay out of the sport of boxing. You'll get hurt. You've had your time, and that's it. Stay out of it. Don't be one of them bitter guys that comes back thinking they can come back for one more round because we're drinking for a straw like me.
Yeah. You talk about abusing fans, Russ. What do you think of Chisora Parker as a pay-per-view? Pretty shocking, isn't it?
It's a dog with fleas. That's what it is, mate. It's a cat with rabies. So good, mate. So good. It wants putting down. If you've got a cat and it's got rabies, you have it put down, don't you? You pay 80 quid up here in Dalton Pet Shop. 80 quid, put my cat down, it's got rabies or whatever. Or is it dogs that get rabies? But now, Parker, 10 losses. Chisora, 10 losses, and Parker, the Stinkinator. Old Huggy Bear. Who wants to see that? I don't want to see that. Sky pay-per-view, do me a favour. It's a load of baba, a load of crap.
Yeah. No, Joseph Parker, he stinks the place out every time, doesn't he? He's a boring fighter to watch.
Stinkinator. Smelly. Hanging around boxing like a bad smell, like Bellew.
And you mentioned Chisora, 10 losses now. He's not a pay-per-view fighter, is he, Russ, at all?
No, is he, man? He's English stroke British level now. He's shot to bits. Fat as a pig, Michelin man. So, but the characters in their own right, they've built this aura up on social media with IFL and boxing social and flipping tables up, spitting water and all that. But he's not a world champion, not even a former world champion. So, oh, it is what it isn't.
Yeah, and the undercard, you got Taylor Jonas. Do you think that's a good fight, Russ?
Yeah, I do. I do want to make Taylor a favourite, but I want Jonas to win. Yeah.
And Eubank, Marcus Morrison. Good opportunity for Marcus, isn't it?
Eubank a big favourite, massive favourite, but I hope Marcus can pull it off. Plus he gets a few quid and gets his a bigger profile. If he loses and he puts a good show up, he'll go again. So it's a win-win for Marcus. Eubank win-win because it keeps him active. So yeah, a good fight.
Yeah. And obviously Bivol Richards, Richards has done quite well, hasn't he, really, to get that fight?
Bivol knocks him out, but it's a good fight for Richards because Boazzi didn't want to take it, did it? His arse owl fell out. You don't want to go on then.
Yeah, no, you're right. Boazzi hasn't really gone for anyone, has he, really? He's just they're playing it safe with him. I think Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn, they're trying to keep that gravy train kind of going or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, that's all. Listen, when you're giving promoters rematches, the job's done for them. They don't have to go out pay matchmakers and all that carry on, do they? It's done for them. So, you know, they're in a win-win. You've got a ready-made product that you've seen once. You want to see it again. That's why they do rematches, because it's called prize fighting. You know what? You get a prize for fighting. Trophies and belts don't pay bills.
Yeah, Eddie Hearn's every fight seems to have a rematch clause, doesn't it?
Yeah, because they've got all bases covered, haven't they?
Mm. Yep. Yeah, and obviously there's a big fight happening tonight. Herring Frampton. What's your thoughts on that fight?
I think that Carl Frampton might have just timed it wrong on this one. I think that Herring's a favourite for me in that fight. I do want to say I think Herring's a favourite. I think Carl Frampton's on the slide. And if he wins, brilliant. But I think he's a busted flush now. That's just my opinion. Nobody else will say it because he's MTK. None of them YouTube will say it, but I like Carl Frampton. He comes across as a genuine kid, but he's on the slide. But nobody's going to say it, are they?
No.
So,
yep. And obviously you got the Sauerland's just announced a new deal with quite a big company, Wasserman. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't mind Kalle Sauerland, actually. He's a daddy's boy, isn't he? No silver spoon in his mouth and that. But Kalle, when you were talking over day on IFL about you'd have it with people on pavement, but you're not much good in ring or something with gloves on. What, Kalle? What you talking? You want pavement? What? Some roadman killer? Fucking hell, man! We've got Eddie Hearn hitting punch bags and 4-0 free by way of Billericay Iceman, and now we've got Kalle that I'm okay on the pavement. What on earth is all that about, Kalle? You're okay? Have you? I think you've been snorting too much of the Colombian, Kalle. You are not all right on the pavement, Kalle. So you are not. I just look at you into your eyes, and you are not. So don't be coming out with stuff like that. Okay? Stop telling stories, Jack and Ori. But yeah, I don't mind Kalle other than that.
Yeah, and obviously Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders in a couple of months. Do you give Billy a chance in that fight, Russ?
No, I don't. I don't give him a cat in hell's chance. No, 1 out of 10 chance, and that's in case Canelo slips over and does his knee. No, I don't. It's not even signed, is it yet?
No, I know they're selling tickets and whatnot, but it's all hearsay until you actually see the press conference and everything, isn't it?
Look, we're in April. They're fighting next month, and contract's not signed. What's all that about? I believe it when they're in ring.
Yeah, with Billy Joe's track record, you can never say, can you?
Listen, mate, Billy Joe could do something controversial and be out of that fight in a heartbeat. So I hope it happens. And you know, obviously, I get on well with Billy's trainer. I like him. I like to see him, Bill, get the fight and get paid. You know, he's had a long career in boxing. He's been fighting. He's turned pro 13 years ago, Billy. So he's still not had a big fight, has he really?
Yeah. From all accounts, you see Billy training hard and everything. Obviously with Mark Tibbs again, with the Tibbs family, which is great again, because I think that was his best performances under Mark and Jimmy Tibbs, weren't it? Andy Lee and everything. So Eubank. So hopefully he'll give a good performance, but I think it'll be difficult beating Canelo in his home patch, won't it?
What I'm fed up about hearing is Billy Joe, David Lemieux. That was 2017. It's 2021. Get a grip of yourselves. Keep going on about that. That's nearly 3.5 years ago, but 3.5 weeks is a long time in boxing. 3.5 bloody hours is. So I don't want to hear about the David Lemieux fight. Oh my God. Stop going on about it. We're tailor-made for Bill, and like I said, 2017. They're great.
You think Billy Joe could be one of the most wasted talents because he had so much potential, didn't he, to be a great, really? And he's obviously achieved good things, but yeah. Well,
he went to Olympics. He's won British, Commonwealth, European and the world title. And I think he won an area belt as well. So he's done all that. And how's that a wasted talent? It's not a waste of talent, that is it? He's been a world champion for 6 years, undefeated. So now I think he's already there. But if you mean stepping into that elite bracket,
Yeah, elite, mate. Yeah.
should have fought Golovkin a couple of years ago when he had chance, when Golovkin were there for taking, and he didn't. So now he's going to have to fight Canelo, who's been hit by Golovkin, been hit by Kovalev, and they couldn't budge him. So Billy's not going to be able to knock him out, is he? So he's going to have to win on points. Is he going to get a points decision in Dallas now? So all he's going to have to hope for is he puts a good performance up and they give it to Canelo by 2 rounds. Then he can scream, "Oh, I should have got decision. It could have gone either way." Billy's only hope of another payday is the fans backing him and saying, "Could have gone either way. We want a rematch." That's all he can hope for. And he needs to hope that he's got a rematch clause where if it's a mandatory or a split decision, they get a rematch. Because other than that, I don't see any other big fights for Bill out there now.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like you said with Golovkin, I think a couple of years ago he could have beat Golovkin if that fight ever happened. And I think he might have just missed the boat, mate, to be honest with you. He's not been active enough for me, but I think he's a great talent, like you said. Should have achieved a lot more, really, with his talent, I believe, personally, mate.
Yeah, he should have done. So, what else?
I got, obviously, keep hearing talks about Fury, AJ. Nothing's been signed yet in terms of a venue and stuff like that. What are your whole thoughts on the whole situation, Russ?
Oh, 10 months ago, Fury came out, said it's a done deal. Thank you very much, MTK Daniel Kinham. Done deal, Dan the man, 2-fight deal. Earn came out and backed it up, and then he came out and said the same thing last week. But there's no venue, there's no money there, no country to do it in either. Sorry, having them signed, but it ain't signed, is it? In theory it is, but it's not locked in, is it? They've just got to keep the Sens relevant and keep the Sens out there. Fury's not fought now for 14 months, right? So he's going to want another fight, and he keep his tools sharp. But he can't when he's locked in with Wilder contract, which have been saying for over a year, haven't they? Been saying it for over a year. They've just kept the powder dry, haven't they? Wilder's team and Heyman and that, Shelley Finkel. Well, crack on with it then. If you're going to fight someone, Tyson, because we'll sue. They were going to fight Caballel December 5th. They threatened legal action. Warren put plug on show. Nothing has changed since then. So roll the dice, Frank Warren, if you're going to get Tyson a fight. They're in limbo. Tyson Fury's parked up. I've been saying it for over 1 year. If people choose not to believe me, well, go and look for yourselves and you will see that Al Heyman and Shelley Finkel are big dogs. Oh! Big dogs. They're not going to mess about. If they weren't big dogs, Fury would have fought Caballel December 5th. But he didn't because they've got legal problems. Eddie Hearn knows this, so he's just beating drum saying Joshua will fight Fury. They're just jumping on the PR. Eddie's a master at it. But if people choose to believe it, that's up to them, isn't it? I don't believe any of them say till they get in the ring. Just how I am. Read it all.
Yeah, it's like you say with Al Heyman. He's a very astute boxing man. He's been involved with Floyd Mayweather, all the big fighters in America. So he's not, and he's a lawyer, like you said. So he's not a rematch clause. I think the rematch has got to happen at some point, hasn't it? The third fight. So yeah.
Look, they've got to have a third fight, haven't they? It's as simple as that. They knew that. They both knew that when they went into the fight, there were going to be a third one. Whether it wants it or not, who cares? They've got a contract, a piece of paper saying we're going to have a third fight. They haven't had the third fight. Bob Arum's going to scream about the pandemic. Heyman and that are going to scream about the contract. Bottom line is this. If it was such an easy fight for Tyson Fury, good deal with Wilder again, then just put it to bed now. And then we can move on with what the proper business, can't we?
Yeah, no, you're right. Wilder needs to, obviously Wilder, Fury 3, I think it needs to happen really because of the contract situation. And I don't really know where Anthony Joshua goes, probably fight Usyk, and that'll be a tough fight for him. But they want all the belts, don't they? But do you really care about all the belts if the fight happens?
No, throw them all in bin and just fight. Joshua Fury fight. Nobody gets any sanctioning fees. Let them keep the extra money. Why should we pay these people, £200,000-300,000 each so they have a good jolly up and put money in the bank? Why? Why do that? I don't get that. Give them nothing. Everybody knows who the top two are. Let them fight. And then we'll have one champion just with Ring Magazine belt. That's good enough for me at that level. It's supposed to be blue ribbon division, isn't it? So how come we've got all this jostling for position? Why haven't we got Sam Jones coming out screaming about Joyce Usyk for WBO?
Yeah, no, Sam Jones. That fight stalled, hasn't it? It seems.
Yeah, and say a word, dare they, against Eddie Hearn? Nobody dare say out, dare they? Otherwise, you don't get thrown a bone, do you? That's how it looks to me, anyway.
Yeah, no, a lot of things are still unresolved, really, and it's like you say, it's been going on for a year now. They said it was agreed a year ago, so yeah, I believe it when I see it.
So will I.
Yeah. All right then, mate. Last question, mate. It's kind of a bit of a fantasy question. Obviously,
for not fantasy, is it? Oh my god!
I know you're a big Carl Froch fan at 168.
Yeah.
Carl Froch v Canelo at 168. I'd like to get your thoughts on what you think would happen in that fight.
Depends when. When you mean at the peaks?
In times, yeah, both in peaks, yeah.
Oof, God, it'd be a tough fight in it for both men, innit? Tough fight for both men, but I'd have to go with my man, the Cobra, with long reach. And I think Kovalev showed how to beat Canelo, but he didn't have the tank or the chin. Froch has the tank and the chin. So I think it would have been an hard fight, but I think Froch would have beat him on points in UK.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think Carl Froch is underrated in terms of that elite level. A lot of people don't talk of him as an elite fighter, but I thought he was elite.
Underrated? What? He was pound for pound number 5 in Ring Magazine.
Yeah, but in terms of like the American view and stuff, obviously they always talk about the Andre Ward fight, but he's obviously
Andre Ward didn't fight him in England, did he?
No. Yeah, no.
How many title fights has Andre Ward had outside America? He's another Floyd Mayweather. Don't leave their own, do they? You know what I mean? But yeah, Andre Ward's an elite fighter, but you'd have to say Froch, he was an elite fighter. He was front page of Ring Magazine, wasn't he? Box rec number 1 at one point in his division, pound for pound number 5, four world title belts, British outright, world championship bronze. If that ain't elite, well, what is elite?
Yeah. Do you think his resume is a lot better than Calzaghe's, yeah?
Well, he beat more world champions than him as a super middleweight. Yeah, better resume because Joe never pushed himself. Joe never fought Glenn Johnson. He pulled out 3 times, got an $100,000 fine. After the third one, Froch beat Glenn Johnson, but it weren't the best Glenn Johnson. But Joe didn't fight him. There was another one he didn't fight, Jermaine Taylor. After he beat Hopkins, there were an option for that fight. Didn't fight him. He fought Hopkins when he were a busted flush. And what other one? Hopkins fought Pascal, didn't he? Had a win over him, but Froch took Pascal's O.
Yeah.
Pascal took Diacono and Dawson's O.
Pascal's a good fighter still, mate.
World champion now, mate. Froch beat him, mate. Not only beat him up. Made him move up a weight.
Yeah.
Punched him upside down in front of my eyeballs. I was sat there watching it, mate. Yeah. Punched him upside down, mate.
Yeah, I'd like to seen him finish off at in Vegas because that was talk, wasn't it? Him fighting Chavez's son or whatever. Never happened, did it?
That was another one of Eddie Hearn's fights. It's a done deal, signed and sealed. Another Eddie done deal. Hey, good at them, ain't Eddie? What other Eddie done deal? Brooke Khan, that was done, wasn't it? A few years ago, done deal. We've had a few, haven't we?
Golovkin Eubank.
Golovkin Eubank. That was a done deal. So they threw Kell Brook under the bus. Look, my advice to people is this. Whatever these people say, think the opposite and you're halfway there. Trust me.
All right. Yeah.
How you then, mate?
Yeah, that's it, mate.
Have you enjoyed yourself?
Yeah, it's been good, Russ. It's been good.
What you got on today?
Not a lot, mate. Just chilling, really. I've got quite a bad cold at the moment, so just take it easy.
Bad cold? Oh God! What
are you gonna do? Blocked nose and everything. So yeah, I'll take it easy.
Do you know what you need to get rid of your bad cold?
What's that?
Tunes. Get some tunes down, you lad. You know them cough sweets.
Yeah.
Get your head, Lemsip, get your head over a bowl, right, hot water, boil kettle, put it in a bowl. This is what I used to do in prison. I used to go down and take water and fill the bowl up, go into my cell, put my head over it, get all the stuff out of my pores, put a bit of TCP in bowl, put your head over it for 20 minutes, then go jump in the shower, mate. Clean all your skin up, mate. That's an old jail trick for you, mate, to keep clean, keep your pores clean. All right, my friend.
All right, brilliant. Thanks a lot, Russ.
Have a great weekend, Harley, and all the best to you and your family.
You too, mate. Take it easy, Russ.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Well, that was young Harley Marshall from Ipswich, one of the big hitters on boxing scene. I think that's about it. I've got that Friday feeling. It's 20-11 on a Friday. Might we'll toss it off. I don't know what to do. We're getting my car valeted today. Should have been yesterday. Coco, where are you doing my car? I want it gleaming. I want to see my face in it. I want you to put some of that Simmons black polish on it that I've got it on. Can't be arse washing cars, my son. What's the point in buying a big hose if you're not going to use it on your car? You know what I mean? But okay then. Okie dokie. Thank you for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. All those people who keep complaining about not being able to join the members area, I don't know what to say really. Maybe you need to go into desktop on your computer or community. I don't know. I think the people that are having problems are those with iPhones. But like I said, go onto a normal computer and you'll see a button underneath and it says join. But if it's letting you do it, I don't know. Send an email in. porkycorner@mail.com and I'll forward it to tech guy and get him to sort it. But I don't know. But there's enough people joined anyway to pay for what we need. So don't put yourselves out. Save your money. Go on holiday. Go to Brid and get a Wendy's waffle and go on Bridlington Bell out to Flamborough. That's what you should do. All right. Peace out. Have a fantastic weekend.